So it's a beautiful day out here in Pennsylvania. It's about 65, 70 degrees out on today's Saturday. So really nice day out. So I think I'm going to spend some time and get my T-5R towed over to my garage now that I got the lift up and everything. And, you know, I want to get that over there because I just want to get it out of the elements, out of the sun. The paint's starting to get a little, you know, it needs some cleanup, but I'm going to order some stuff to correct all that and everything. And just going to show you guys what the car looks like right now. So here it is. It's still pretty clean. I mean, the paint still looks great. Yeah, it's been sitting for a while, but it's really nothing too bad. There's a little bit of like, you know, the clear coat here is getting a little but that's all stuff that can be fixed with paint correction. Engine bay and everything still just sitting pretty. No mice nests, no frickin' squirrels storing acorns and shit in here. So, I don't know, I just want to get it over. I'm probably gonna pull the front bumper off. Just because sometimes this car's a little low and it scrapes on the flatbeds. Yeah, that's just from that. I'll wipe off. But I want to get this thing, I want to start cleaning this thing up, getting it ready for the new engine and everything. Interior's still pretty clean. Nothing really wrong in here. You know, it's not a perfect car, but it's pretty clean. Yeah, I can't wait to have this thing back. Off pretty easy. Basically just a bunch of bolts on the top, a bunch of torque screws on the bottom, a couple bolts here and there. So there she is. So I moved it from over there, got it lined up at the driveway. Usually I just have the flatbed back it up. Since this is on a hill, when he puts the bed down, it's basically flat and you can kind of just roll it right on. It's pretty cool. Then we'll get that towed to the shop and be on our way. Flatbedded it over here using AAA. Got her on the lift and looking pretty sweet. Move some tools around over here so basically I can back a car in here with this car either up in the air or not a car in there. This car can back in to this spot, which is kind of nice. So yeah, put my toolbox over here. I don't know where I want to put that yet. I might move that over on that side and put this stuff over there. So it's easier to get to if there's a car here. So I'm still got to kind of playing around with the layout. It's probably going to take another week or so to figure out the layout and what I actually want, but I mean, it's starting to look like a shop. Oh, thumbnail. All right, that's all for now. What's up, everyone? I am here working in the garage today. And I'm basically just going to be working on my cylinder head tonight. Today's Friday, April 12th. And I just got news that my JE pistons ship. So they should be coming here next Tuesday, actually. So I can get them off to the machine shop. They can finalize everything and I can get the block back and start, you know, checking everything for clearances and putting it all together. So really excited about that. So basically today I'm going to be working on getting all this crap off. I went to Lowe's. Oh, yeah. But I went to Lowe's and bought a bunch of razor blades and crap. Scrape all this off. I'll pull these gaskets out. And the other thing I got to do for the solid lifters is block off the oil feed holes for the lifters. So I have a M3 tap right here, and this actually fits perfectly in the stock hole. So I didn't have to do any drilling. I was going to drill it out to M4, but no need. So basically I was just power tapping these with the drill, you know, just using lubrication, going real slow and whatnot. And then what I have is I have these little, these grub screws, right? So those go in there. And then I'm gonna throw some either thread locker on those or the Volvo sealant. I'm gonna try the Volvo sealant first and see if that dries. And then these basically just screw in there. Let me do it with my other hand. And I gotta tap it far enough so that they go below the surface because the cam cover is gonna be on here and I don't want that hitting. So that's about tight. And as you can see, you know, they're pretty much in there and flush and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all these. Gonna tap them all out, lube them up so I don't snap the tap because it is kind of a smaller tap and it's a cheaper Harbor Freight one. And then I'm going to get I'm gonna try the Volvo sealant, like I said, first. And if that, you know, doesn't dry, because it does have to dry in the absence of oxygen, I have some Thread Locker Blue 242, which is good to 300F. Focus this. Which is good to 300F and also good for contact with oil. So that is good there. So I'm gonna do a little time lapse and get to it. So you can see I'm starting to get a lot of the, you know, this kind of stuff off with the razor blade. And you're not going to get it off with the razor blade. What I actually have is I have one of these like Brillo pad kind of deals. Not a Brillo pad, but I can't think of the name of these off the top of my head. Basically, I'll put this on a drill, and then I will just you know, smooth the surface down and get all the remainder off. And always remember, wrap your razor blades up in tape before you throw them out. Don't want anyone getting cut on those, especially when they just come with some crappy paper like that. So I've been hitting the cylinder head real lightly with a Scott-Brite pad on a drill. And you can see it cleans up really nicely. That's like, well, the old leftover gasket, and this is the cleaned up surface, so it really helps take a lot off. Shoots a lot of dust around, but I'm getting this head. I'm just gonna clean this head off. It's a brake clean, but I'm also gonna take it to the machine shop to have them, A, they gotta check the intake valves for straightness because they did hit the pistons, and B, I want them to throw it in the cleaning tank and clean all the internals out and everything. So yeah, you can really see the difference there. So I'm gonna keep working on this, and once this is all done, I'll probably wash it down a little bit with some brake clean, get any final remaining gasket off, and then I'll probably start working on tapping the rest of these holes and plugging them up. So we're getting there. Got her cleaned up real nicely. That Scott-Brite on a wire wheel really does frickin' wonders. And it really doesn't remove any material where it's going to be, you know, harmful for the valve cover. It really did a good job. So I decided to use the Volvo stuff. Basically what I'm doing is I'm just shooting a blob in here. Shooting a little bit in there. And then I get one of my grub screws over here. Throw it on my Allen key. Throw a little bit of more sealant on there. It was kind of a lot, but whatever, the more the merrier. Get it in the threads. And then start tightening her down. I just tested one of these in the first hole. I let it sit for like 10-15 minutes, and it ended up setting up real nice. It was pretty hard to get out, but I got it out, and I got that one resealed. And now you can see I put it down the way, torque it down a little bit. There's about good. And then just wipe the excess off. And the Volvo is an anaerobic sealer, so in the absence of oxygen or air, it will harden up. And that'll basically seal this. It'll seal the threads, and it'll also make sure they don't back out. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they back out because they're just gonna hit the top of the valve cover. So yeah. So if we get a little close-up view, there you can see the plugged one with the little hex head, and there you can see the open one. And again, I'm doing this because I did a solid lifter conversion, so there's no reason to just waste oil pressure, you know, for the solid lifters, because you don't need to pump them up with oil pressure. So I'm gonna keep doing the rest of the head. I got 3 left, plus 10, 13. And we'll get this thing done. Again, I sanded it down, it came out really nice, and we're gonna keep grinding away on this thing. Just about calling it quits here for the night. Ended up cleaning up the oil pan and also the valve cover, so I'm gonna show you that real quick. So basically just ended up cleaning these guys off. The whole same, you know, bristle pad on a drill kind of deal here. Or a Scotch-Brite, keep screwing that up. And then, same with this. They came out really well. I mean, they look they look machined basically, but just got all the old gasket off them. Got a bunch of the old crap out in there, so we're getting there. Car's sitting over there. Also took out the wiring harness. I'm gonna put the engine in through the bottom this time, so I took that out so that I can put that on the engine and stuff when I get it back together and on the subframe. Yeah, I just gotta take out the 4 subframe bolts, and then I'm probably going to disconnect the suspension here and then just drop everything down. And then once the engine's done being built, I'll plop it on the subframe, roll it under, lower the car back on, you know, reconnect the wiring harness up to here, power steering, and the other, you know, various components. So yeah, we're getting there. Shop's looking pretty good.